Now, my bumper hasn't always looked this good, and before it looked like this. After months and months of back and forth, constant sanding, and mistakes that I was bound to make, we're finally here. And what started as a quick fix quickly turned into a 3-month job.
So, without further ado, let's go ahead, jump straight into it, and I will show you the process from start to finish of how I resprayed my bumper at home. And of course, whilst you guys are still here, don't forget to hit subscribe so I can bring you more content like this to the channel.
Finally, we're at the point of being able to mix the paint up. So, this is the primer. It's white, and it's mixing ratio 4:1. So, on our mixing cup, we find 4:1, decide how much we want to put in, probably do it up to this line, maybe that one.
So let's go ahead and get the primer mixed up. We're mixing the primer and we're also mixing a hardener with it at a 4:1 ratio. Now, if you never put the hardener in paint coming out of a spray gun, it would never harden and the bumper would just be stuck being soaking wet and never dry.
So I'm just getting a tack rag and I'm going to let this air out for a second. The reason you let it air out is because there can be some greasy residue left, and obviously we don't want any of that on our panel that we're going to be painting. I hope this goes well. Once again, this channel is all about just giving things a go yourself. We're just going to try it, see if it works, and if it does, then good, and we've painted the bumper ourselves. If not, there's always the option to take it to a body shop, but hopefully we're going to save some money this way, and just gives you a bit more to be proud of, doesn't it?
Now, this tack rag step is very important, and trust me when I say, if you guys are painting at home, you do not want to miss this step. It pretty much gets rid of all the static, all the little bits of dust on the panel that you are painting, and keeps it in the tack rag. Now, it's one of those that you don't see, but just trust me when I say it makes the world of difference. And now we can go ahead and get our first coat of high build primer onto the bumper. Now, this is as well my first time spraying out of a spray gun, so if the technique's off, let me know. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not a professional. I'm trying all of this and seeing where I get.
We've done it. I am sweating buckets in here. It's like a greenhouse. But I'll show you the finished product. As you can see, it's not gone on too bad. I only started to get the hang of it towards the end. There is also a fly in there, but I'm gonna get him out when it's dry. It did go on quite heavy in some places, as you can see, but with this being high build primer, it's quite orange peely, to be honest. I say I only got the hang of it towards the end, and it only started coming out really wet towards the end. I'm not sure what I did differently. I think I just let the compressor regenerate a bit, and it's gone on a lot better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this to dry for a good 24 hours, and then we are going to get the guide coat out, spray some guide coat on it, sand it down, block it, and so on and so on. But I mean, so far so good. This isn't too bad, and we've got a lot to work with. I will say one thing though, it is literally like a greenhouse in this place. It's boiling. That just about brings me on to, if you're not subscribed, make sure to click subscribe. It means a lot to me. And if you want to see more content like this of a guy just painting a bumper in his garden in a £40 gazebo from eBay, then yeah.
Now, the idea with this guide coat is pretty much you put a very light dusting on, you sand it down, and then the guide coat stays in all of the low spots, and you can see which part on the bumper or the panel that you're painting needs attention. So I'm just going to carry on blocking this section, and as you can see, this is going to take a while.
That is pretty much what we're doing. The guide coat stays in these parts and it will show you all the low spots. So I'm going to get on and sand the rest of this down, and I will come back when that's done, because I doubt you guys want to watch me do it. Now, very unfortunately, a big portion of this video got corrupted because it was on my other hard drive, and yeah, it's gone corrupt. So we've got limited content. However, the video is spraying my bumper, and this is where we've got up to so far. We've got the high build primer on. There's a couple of these burn through spots which I'm going to put some 1K primer on now, and I'm also going to use some 3M glazing putty to fill in any of the imperfections or low spots. And then once those are on there, we can go ahead and sand it with 400 grit. So this is all with 320 grit so far. But I mean, this video's been over the course of about a month now, and we're almost ready to start the car. We're almost ready. So I need to get this stuff done so that I can drive it once the injectors have been mapped in. But let's go ahead. I'm going to spray that on now, and I'm also going to put the 3M glazing putty on, and then I'm going to leave it to harden and dry overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow we can completely finish prepping that ready for paint.
And the reason that I'm using this 3M glaze putty is because it dries extremely thin. So it's mainly used for very small imperfections, which is exactly what I am using it for.
I am not a fan of high coat at all. I wonder if you can see it down here. It's not reacted, but it was running, and it was coming out very watery, like that. I mean, it's covered it. As you can see, there's not as many burn throughs now. There's still a little couple of dark patches, but it's not as bad. And I reckon we'll still go over that with 400 grit. But yeah, oh, washing line there. But now I'm going to leave that overnight, and we will come back to it tomorrow, sand, and then I'll also sand down all of these bits, which I've done. So, welcome. You joined me on a Monday. Oh, I have just finished work. I've got about 2 hours to spray paint or spray gun this bumper. We've got AJ from Indivisor Tuning coming on Thursday, and my job is to get this bumper back on the car so that we can do road tuning. So I'm going to speed up the process because I need to get this done quickly, and you guys will see everything that I do.
Now, unfortunately, I was recording the evening before and the footage didn't save because I ran out of storage on my camera. However, we're still getting it done. I've come in again with a tack rag, and then we're going to spray the base coat on the bumper, and this time round we are aiming for a nice flat finish. Now, the evening before, the bit that didn't record, I did actually mess the paint up and did get a run in it. However, I went back in once it was dry with a bit of 1200 grit sandpaper, sanded it down, and I just sprayed right over it. And that is one of the most beautiful things about working with paint. And as you can see, it came out looking amazing. Exactly what I was hoping for. And now, finally, we can go ahead and spray the clear coat. Now, I was so scared to spray this clear coat, but I said, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't try. So I gave it a go, and it actually came out a lot better than I ever thought it would.
So, welcome back. It's now the next day, and the bumper has had about 24 hours to completely harden, dry. The only mistake that we've made is here. We've got one run, but it's not too prominent. I mean, you'll probably be able to see it quite visibly on the car, but my plan with that is I'm going to give it about 2 weeks to fully harden, and then hopefully I'm going to give it a polish and sort that out. But next thing that we need to do is we've got this TRC front splitter to put on. So it's pretty much as simple as putting that up like that, drilling some holes in the bottom of the bumper, and then nutting and bolting the bumper on. So let's go ahead and get on with that.
So let's go ahead and nut and bolt this TRC splitter to the bottom of my bumper. So I'm simply just getting a drill bit and drilling straight through the splitter and the bumper, and then I'm going to get a nut and bolt with a bit of thread lock to secure it in place.
And there we have it. One bumper complete with the TRC splitter. So I've just used a nut and bolt on these ones, and then these are nuts. I've pretty much done nut and bolt on all of them. I don't trust self-tappers. Now what I'm going to do is get all the trim pieces, get them fitted nicely, and then we can go ahead and install this back on the car. It's a very warm day today. If you guys are from the UK, you guys will know how hot it's been recently. Yeah, tomorrow AJ from Indivisor Tuning is coming over, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we are sorting the car out. But we'll see that video this week that I'm recording this, if that's the case.
And now we can finally go ahead and get all of the plastic trim pieces back into the bumper, ready to go back onto the car.
We can actually go ahead and start getting everything back on to the front end of the car. So the first thing is going to be the headlights.
So I'm going to start off by putting the headlights back in. And then we can go ahead and get the other headlight in. Now, getting this bumper back on was an absolute mission and a half. Purely for the fact there's a plastic under tray. It's not the main under tray, there's another plastic tray on the front of the rad pack. And we literally had to end up getting the jigsaw out in the end so that we could cut little slots for where the nut and bolts were for the splitter. So there was a lot of back and forth, but we did eventually get there in the end.
So, long day. We finally managed to get it on. There's a plastic tray underneath here, which I had to cut into with a jigsaw, and also I can't get this headlight to line up, as you can see. It's a little bit above. I think it's one of the bits in there, but I'm planning to take the bumper off again at some point, and I'm going to replace the headlights at some point as well, so that shouldn't matter. But I'm going to get on now because we're losing light, and get all the bolts in underneath, and yeah, almost there. And as you guys can see, the bumper is now all finished up. To be honest, I'm surprised that it went this well. The only little mistake is that run. As I mentioned, I'm gonna wait for this to fully harden and sand it down and then polish it back up. But I seriously do not think we've done too bad of a job. I did also clip the paint a tiny bit there, putting these trim pieces in because they don't like to go in perfectly. But yeah, I am over the moon with that, and if this job has inspired some of you guys to just give things a go and save yourself some pennies, then be sure to do it and comment down below what jobs you guys are doing yourselves. As always, if you're not already, remember to click subscribe, leave a comment down below and give the video a like. But for now, I will see you next Sunday at 6 PM for the next upload on the channel, and this one is huge. You are not going to want to miss it.